Thank you, Chair. Mr. Seeback, I wonder if you would take a very quick question from me. There are always intended outcomes of legislation, and then there are the unintended outcomes. And I think of the unintended outcome of this legislation, the route you have chosen to go is ministerial instruction. It is up to the minister to approve or not insurance companies who can play in this new market. So it is possible, is it not, that in fact, even though you've created this route, very few fish will be able to swim through this new route because the minister simply won't approve them? Is there any accountability that you've built in?
There's no accountability built in. I think the accountability is that the minister is going to have to answer to the Canadian public, who are going to say, for example, why isn't Sun Life India approved? There are large multinational insurance companies that will have branches or divisions that operate in foreign countries. Why won't the minister approve any of them? So there is that risk. I think the challenge is that if we try to set the parameters ourselves, then we might get it wrong. And if we get it wrong, that means that a hospital might not get paid, or a parent or grandparent gets stuck with a $50,000, $60,000 bill. Both of those outcomes, I think, are worse than if the minister doesn't approve anything. So I don't think they'll do it. I think there'll be incredible pressure on them to do it. But again, I sort of go back to this bill is not perfect, but I do think it's a great step in the right direction.
Mr. Seeback, since ultimately this is about hospitals and healthcare, and hospitals and healthcare fall within the provincial domain, have you had any discussions on this bill with provincial counterparts?
So I have not had discussions with provincial counterparts, and I'll explain why. Currently, the federal government sets a program with an insurance regime that allows for a foreign national to purchase the insurance that's required to come here on a super visa. So they've already set up the regime in consultation with provinces. And if they're going to now set up a regime that allows for the purchase of an insurance product from a foreign country, they will ensure that it meets the same standards, I believe. And therefore, the risk of provinces being left with healthcare dollars that they don't get back will be very, very small. So I think this route has already been designed by the government for domestic insurance companies, and therefore they'll make sure an international or foreign insurance company follows the same.
Thank you so much.